All right, this Monday morning, I will start the 12-hour Python course. If I watch it 2 hours per day, I'll be able to finish it in a week. And this is how 98% of people give up on coding. And I hate to break it to you, but even the 2% who make it through the course aren't that much ahead. As soon as you put them in front of a coding problem, they'll feel stuck because learning without taking action is useless. And if you're not a genius, that 12-hour tutorial would have been a complete waste of time. But this is not to say that coding tutorials are bad. It's to say that most novice programmers are utilizing them wrong. I'm going to be presenting my method to help you kickstart your coding journey the smart way. You can't learn without putting in the effort. Remember that. And there is no magic tutorial that you'll watch which will make you a programming legend without having to fry your brain trying to learn. And if you're already thinking about leaving the video, I hate to break it to you, but you won't make it far in coding. I'll also show you how Elon Musk used this method to create PayPal when he was younger. But Elon Musk isn't liked anymore by the coding community. Well, look at his net worth and look at your net worth. So your broke ass better pay attention. I'm sure you've already heard of tutorial hell, watching hours and hours of educational coding content, but ending up not even one step closer to your goal. You just agreed with the statement I just said, right? But here's the truth. You don't even know what your goal is. How are you supposed to motivate yourself to learn web development if deep down you want to make video games? Take some time to understand what your goal in programming is. There is no shame with just wanting to have a career in tech, but for that, you should know what the industry needs and base your learning on that. If you know your goal with coding and want some cool coding challenges that relate to your goal, I'll be tackling that in the next part of the video. But first, you need to know how to escape tutorial hell. The simple answer would be to stop watching tutorials and just code, but it just doesn't work that way. It's like giving someone a Spanish book when they don't speak Spanish and telling them to make a summary of the book. Of course, you want to first have an initiation to coding. Knowing what the basics and fundamentals are, I would recommend learning about variables, if statements, loops, lists, and functions before you start your first project. When coding your first project, you should note ideas as soon as they hit you. Features and code lines can come up on the spot. Doesn't matter if you're about to sleep, watching this video, or commuting to work or school. Ideas come up on the spot. And this is how I capture them, both digitally and in real life. On my computer, I always have this website, editpad.org, open and jump in when I want to write something. I find it to be the most frictionless approach to it. I also have a pack of Post-its next to me so I can continue doing what I'm doing and just grab a pen and quickly write it down. Now, on my phone, I've got this app called To-Do List. It's supposed to be for tasks, but I like to use it differently. Whenever I get an idea in my mind, I just open this widget and start writing. It's the first thing that comes up when I open my phone, making it a lot more frictionless. This approach might seem a bit disorganized, and this is why I chose the word nebula as the name of the method. A nebula is a giant cloud of dust and gas in space. My ideas are just like that, but I find it more useful since I never got into most apps, and I think you might relate to me. Now, for the projects I promised earlier, here they are. Simple enough to help you improve, complicated enough to challenge you. Making a calculator, to-do list app, Pong game, or weather app. There are many to choose from. Go check out my Twitter to save the post, and follow me while you're on the platform. But you can, of course, follow the Rust projects suggested with Google. If you enjoy my content and have been watching for this long, consider interacting with the video in some way. It helps with the algorithm. Now, how are you going to know when to consider the project complete? You don't need to create the next Instagram to feel accomplished. You should be okay with good enough. You generally spend way too much time polishing things when they are already good enough. And this is when the 80-20 rule comes in. 20% of the work gives you 80% of the results. This applies to every aspect of your life. When Elon Musk was creating PayPal, although he is known for high standards and perfectionism, he was more pragmatic and focused on quick execution. Musk has mentioned that he adopted a just get it done mentality during the early stages of X.com, which later became PayPal. And he wasn't necessarily pursuing perfection at the time. He said in many interviews that the initial priority was to build and scale the online payment platform rapidly, even if it meant accepting accepting solutions that were considered good enough. Well, you aren't building projects as big as PayPal, so why be so obsessed with making everything perfect? Be okay with good enough, as it will speed up your learning and make you happier overall. Now that you know the method to become good at coding, you're going to want to know how to make the process more fun and enjoyable. And you're just in luck, because I uploaded that video last week. Go watch that next.